Agerbeck of loosetooth.com, and I help you reclaim drawing as your best thinking tool so you can see and shape your life and your work in new ways. And today I want to introduce you to idea shaper number 1. So this is the very first idea shaper in the book, The Idea Shapers, and this is one single visual thinking concept. My goal with the book is to break down visual thinking into very discrete, accessible pieces so we can learn each piece of visual thinking and then put them together to do more and more sophisticated drawing and visual thinking. Again, to help you reclaim drawing as your best thinking tool. So today, step number 1, idea shaper number 1 and step number 1, our first step in the idea shapers is to chunk. And that's to look at a giant pile of information and find one relevant chunk and pull it out. So when we talk about idea shaper number 1, we talk about what is your objective. The very first idea shaper is the objective, and the concept is begin with the end in mind. And this is looking at all the fantastic things visual thinking can do for us and to let our objective or our end goal help shape what we're going to do, what materials we're going to use, how we're going to approach our project, all that good stuff. So I just want to quickly to orient you, this is step 1, idea shaper 1, step number 1 in the book. It also is in the online course, the complement to the book, the online course, The Idea Shapers. And so the idea shapers takes you step by step, and not surprisingly, the objective lives in module number 1 called Canvas. So this is very much about you as the canvas, you as the visual thinker, you as the maker and the drawer, and also the canvases you'll choose to draw on. So that's a little context setting for the objective, but very simply, the objective is about what is it you're going to do with your visual thinking. And I just want to point out this drawing quite early in the book because it is idea shaper number 1. So these are pages 53 and 54. So this is a little peek into the idea shapers. And what I've got here is a wide variety of objectives that visual thinking can help you meet. So here we have the text and here we have the graphic, and basically we can use visual thinking for things like organizing a book, paper, or presentation, coordinating the myriad pieces of a very complex project into one big picture format. So visual thinking helps you really see how all those different pieces fit together. What I love about drawing as a thinking tool is it's spatial and you can go in every direction. So that's what makes it so lovely, so sexy, so useful, is that it is spatial and it's visual. And instead of like our old school methods of text, text has a very specific orientation from left to right, from top to bottom, unless you're using a different writing system that goes from right to left. But those of us speaking English, left to right, top to bottom, you can't go in a lot of different directions with that because the words need to line up into sentences, and those sentences need to line up in paragraphs. But beautifully, spatial thinking, visual thinking helps us go in any direction. So that helps us work with really complex projects. Another thing is learning a new topic. The fact that we're doing hands-on making, we're really able to focus and retain what we're working on because we have a physical connection to what we're doing. Similar to learning a new topic, definitely taking notes, much more memory and retention and focus when we're working visually. Making a decision. Very much easier to weigh a decision, make a decision when you can see all the pieces, all the pros and cons, all the components of making that decision on a sheet of paper, all related to each other. Another fantastic objective is creating better organized and more effective communication pieces. This can work a couple different ways. It can be what you use, the tools you use, the visual thinking you do to help work out your ideas on something you're trying to present. So that's sort of the internal half of it, where you're just really sorting out what's going on here and how you want it to come out either in speech or in your writing or in a presentation. But the other half of the equation is learning visual thinking or developing visual thinking, and the fact that it helps you figure out how to visually tell your story, visually convey your message, get those ideas out more visually. Now, like I just said, visual thinking helps your own focus and retention. The gorgeous thing is it does the same thing for the audience. So when you use visuals to tell your story, your audience is more focused. They're better able to retain what they learn, what they see, what they hear or read from you. Another one, I'm a big fan of this, managing your time and projects. So really getting a sense of what the heck you have to work on when you can see it all at once. Another is reflecting on relationship or health issues. Very often I think about visual thinking in regards to my professional life, but I find it also equally useful for my own personal life and my health and all that good, soft stuff of our life that's not our business. So, it really can work both professionally and personally. Reflecting on past work to create a strategy for future work. This is why often you might hear me talk about the fact that you can use drawing for both reflection and action. So it can work as an incredibly good reflective tool, looking back at something you've worked on and say, okay, how do I feel about this? What was the work done? Celebrating successes, reflecting on failures, lessons learned, all that good stuff. So it can definitely work as a tool for reflection, but then it can equally work well as a tool for action, taking those ideas into the future. So it can do a heck of a lot of stuff. See, you're getting a really nice, robust list here. And then lastly, I love thinking and drawing and getting my ideas out of my head and onto paper because it really helps reduce overwhelm. The fact that we think we're supposed to hold all this stuff up here and somehow manage all this complexity, it's just freaking stressful and overwhelming. So I think, that very simple act, whether it looks sexy, whether it looks well composed, whether you're using any of the elements that I teach you here, even if it looks like a scribbly scrabbly mess, just getting your ideas out of your head and onto paper is going to reduce overwhelm. So that's a little bit about what you can do with the objective, why you want to bring visual thinking into your skill set. Give yourself visual thinking as another tool in your toolbox. And next time in Meet the Idea Shapers, I'm going to talk about these two drawings, two different types of approaches to those objectives. So thank you so much for watching. I absolutely hope that you will comment or ask questions below. And by all means, please follow and subscribe and all that good stuff. So that is Idea Shaper number 1, the objective.